it's Laura. Today is Monday, May 25th, Memorial Day, and today is Flosstube number 12. It's been a little over 2 weeks since I last posted, but 3 weeks since I filmed. So I have several projects that I can talk to you about for the stitching. And then I also want to go over some ideas for the Strawberry Moon SAL, which is in June, hosted by Marjorie Maid. So I have some ideas of some free patterns and some maybe less known patterns out there that you might want to take a look at. So let's get started. In May, so far to date, I've stitched 6,947 stitches approximately. We have, about a week left. And as I was going through my projects and talking to some folks at Spring Mingle and in Stephanie's stitching group, I was getting kind of bummed that I wouldn't have a finish in May because one of the projects I've been working on, I still have about 1,900 stitches left, and my elbow's been bothering me with tendonitis, and I thought there's just probably no way I'm gonna get 1,900 stitches done with work and a trip, etc. So instead, I started and finished a new project, and it is this little Aperol Spritz. Let me get it up cute. Isn't that cute? So this little Aperol Spritz is a pattern I got off of Etsy. I stitched it on this perforated plastic canvas that I thrifted in one of those big thrift bins in down in Lincoln City, or down Lincoln City, Oregon. And so I've really been wanting a couple of things. I wanted a bag tag, and I thought bag tags are really expensive, and certainly I could make something. So I was on Pinterest and trying to figure something out, and thought, well, there's a lot of needlepoint. I don't needlepoint, but I do cross stitch, which is basically the same thing except with more counting. And I had this perforated plastic that I wanted to use for something. I thought, well, I'll just make a little bag tag. So I found this pattern on Pinterest. The pattern itself is in a square, and so I just kind of outlined the Aperol Spritz, which is my favorite drink, absolutely my favorite drink, and then outlined it in pink. Pretty easy. It's 840 stitches. I finished it in 2 days, mostly while watching Real Housewives of Rhode Island. Stephanie, you were correct. It is amazing. I'm probably halfway through the episodes that are out today. So yeah, I'm really loving it. I can't believe Ashley I is on Real Housewives of Rhode Island. If you're an OG Bachelor fan like myself, you remember when she would be on all of the episodes just crying over Jared, who I'm not sure is worth it, but that's a story for another day. Anyway, I have this. I'm going to call this a finish. I need to fully finish it. I have some ideas of how I'm going to do that. Right now, I just use tacky glue and some like regular, just generic polyester fabric just to keep the stitches from unraveling. What I think I'm going to do is stitch this to some backing fabric and then do some stuffing and then, close it up and then glue cording around the outside. So I'll need to buy more floss in these colors for the cording, but I just thought that was really cute. Ultimately, I'm looking for an idea that I could take to Italy. So I'm going on a girls' trip to Italy in July, and I would love to bring a craft. And I think like the Italian, like the sardines, the lemons, the Aperol Spritzes, it's all very Italian. I would love to bring some sort of craft for the girls to do one evening, but it has to fit into my bag and also be not that hard to teach anyone and ideally finishable in an evening. So this, too many stitches for anyone to finish in an evening. So I'm still trying to think of ideas. Also, feel free to talk me out of it because I get a little extra on trips sometimes. I'm not sure that anyone else is going to appreciate the extraness. So talk me out of it. So that's the start and finish. I had two other three other starts this month. So in no particular order, I started, okay, where did I put that piece of paper? It's right here in my lap. Nailed it. I started Coneflower Chorus. This is my progress so far. As you can see, this is on Vintage Blue Whisper 32 count Zweigart fabric from 123 Stitch. Look at that. I'm very classy. Don't mind the threads. This is Coneflower Chorus by the Blue Flower. So far on it, I'm 7.84%. I have 476 out of just over 6,000 stitches. I'm using the called for Valdani floss pack. You can see it's like I'm stitching in circles, so it's very variegated. I'm going to pause on this. And in fact, I haven't worked on this since the beginning of May. I worked on this one day while I was watching Taskmaster. I'm going to pause on this because I think this is a great project to take to Italy. Again, the aforementioned Italy trip. I stitch every single day and am looking for some simple projects to take with me. This one, super simple. Fabric, already cut. Has 6 or 7 flosses. I don't have to worry about, you know, oh, did I forget to bring a floss? Am I going to run out? I should have plenty, according to the gals in my stitching group that have already stitched this. So folds up tiny. The floss pack is tiny. So I think this is a great project to bring with me. And again, it's 6,000 stitches. So over the course of the 2 weeks I'll be in Austria and Italy, I would probably normally stitch like 3,500 stitches. So it's more than enough to keep me busy. So that's the first one. The other new start that I have is a sampler for Grace. Now this is a restart for me. Here we go. A sampler for Grace by Shaded Stitchery. This is on 36 count. Okay, it's a Zweigart linen. It is the pre-printed whatever winter whisper. The pre-printed light color Zweigart fabric, and I dunked it in taupe for like 3 minutes. And you can see it's got this really great, there's a little bit of modeling, but this really great kind of like mid brown. The previous fabric I was using, don't know where I put it. The previous fabric, I was stitching this on the called for Affogato, and I thought it was way too dark, and I did not like it. And I've seen a lot of other folks stitching it in Spring Mingle, and theirs didn't seem quite so dark. So maybe just my cut of it. But I'm much happier with this. I also think that the colors are really popping on it where they didn't pop on it before. I feel like I miscounted something and I need to start over somewhere, but I don't remember where. Anyway. These little flowers were giving me fits because I kept forgetting to stitch parts of them. I still need to do one more green stitch in that one, but stitching this during Taskmaster as well. I'm not caught up on the SAL. I'm like 2 weeks behind. That's okay. The SAL is hosted by Annie at XO Needle in the Hay XO. I'm worried about the letters because I've never stitched over one for letters. So we'll just see how that goes. But I'm liking this so far. Just a lot of stitches. What was it? 16,000 stitches. Kind of a lot. Okay. And then my third new start. Laura, why are all these new starts? I thought you had too many whips. I do. That's absolutely true. But my third new start is Happy Haunted Home by Flossy Fox Shop. I'll put a picture up here. This is by Flossy Fox Shop. I'm at 53%, 1950 out of, is that right? Yeah, 1950 out of 3,600 stitches. This is stitched on a random Aida fiddler's cloth that I dyed green. It's actually the offcut of the dragon, Flower Meadow Dragon SAL that I did last year. I'm not ever going to finish that. I did one dragon, was like, this is great. And then, so I cut the fabric and decided to move on. I'm stitching it 2/1, it's Aida. So I think it's 16 count, maybe 18 count fiddler's cloth. It's so cute. So I made the little dog look like Ruby. It's supposed to be white with gray spots, and I made it to be Ruby instead. And look, she got a little pumpkin hat on because the cat's sitting in the pumpkin. I think it's so cute. I really love this pattern. I'm hoping to have it finished in May, so I have another finish. This is the one where I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to get that finished because it still has, at this point, 1,500 stitches left. It's just a lot. And this is being stitched in a vintage, I think it's a princess hoop. Yeah, princess hoop from Julie that my friend Amber thrifted. Okay, those are my four new starts. That's a lot. I worked on 1, 2, 3, I think 4 other projects this month. So my big focus project, I went back to one of my favorites. I went back to Blueberry J by JEDxStitch. This is on the called for 32 count Malachite by Fiber on a Whim, using the called for DMC and the 2 thread works. And I got what I worked on. It's right there. Down here and then all up through here and this pink doodad. I just picked up the one color I was missing from the opposite corner, some green color. So once I get that, I'll be able to kind of finish that bottom corner and move on. If you remember, this is my sunny day stitch, my Sunday stitch, because I was working on it every day that it was sunny and really loved it. I am 50% of the way. I hit 50% this week. I've been working on it quite consistently this month. I'm at 5,800 stitches out of 11,659. I did just over 1,000 stitches so far in May. I will say I'm a little frustrated because part of my fabric kind of scooched there from my nerd hoop. And you can kind of see the lines where the nerd hoop was. I do not like a nerd hoop. And I should know this, that you should really only stitch things in a nerd hoop smaller than the nerd hoop. You shouldn't move a nerd hoop around because it will F up your fabric. So I think the next motif comes down right there. Otherwise, I'm sure like when I wash it, I can kind of like scooch the fabric back. It looks worse when the sun shines through. That's a bummer. Anyway, love this. I'm just going to keep working on this through the summer till I finish it, 50% of the way. Okay, next up is Book Goddess by Tiny Modernist. This was a release around Nashville. And I am 15% of the way through. Almost 2,300 stitches out of 13,000. It's about 383 this month. I restitched the brown in the castle and the belt, and then I stitched for the 3rd time these orangey flowers. So I'm doing a color conversion on this. I changed her hair to pink, obviously. And then I'm changing her dress to this dark blue, which is not showing up on camera very well. And originally I thought, well, I'll make the flowers pink. Made it look a little, the carpet matches the drapes. And I was like, not into that. So I restitched those flowers and the called for, this is like 351, 352. And then the brown down here, I went with, it's actually Blackbird from Classic Colorworks. It is the dark brown from the sampler for Grace floss pack that I bought. One of the skeins that I bought for that is a little more brown than black. And I thought that looked a lot better than the like medium brown that was in it. I have not worked on this though, because I have lost the flosses. I do not know where this blue is, which is, I think it's Mariana by Weeks Dye Works. And then I can't find this skein of Blackbird. Here's the thing. I have no idea where they are. I've looked through everything. I looked through the totes that are under here. I know that they're all 4 skeins are in a little plastic bag that the Marianas came in. Don't know. They're gone. So I can't work on Book Goddess until I find them. Well, what do we have here? What else did I work on? I worked on Pink Wren by JEDxStitch. Book Goddess is 2/2. This is, I think, Sapphire Star by Witchelt, which I actually like this Witchelt. I didn't like the Witchelt from that, but I like this one. Okay. Pink Wren by JEDxStitch. I stitched on this. I took this to New York with me at the beginning of the month. And I got a bunch of this orange done and these flowers and a bunch of this pink done and this little doodad using the called for DMC. And this is, I'm at 13%, 1,600 out of 12,000 stitches. I've done about 300 stitches this month. I love JEDx. She's releasing more patterns this week. I need her to slow down because I have 4 on the go. One of them is 50%. The rest of them are nowhere near finished. I need her to slow down. This is a Fox and Rabbit, 32 count. Elephant something? Old Emu Bush. I will try to put it in the description. I can never remember. I bought it from Stephanie's D-Stash. And it's kind of a light with just a hint of light green. Light gray with a hint of green. So I'm liking that. If you're looking for one that's finished, Jandy finished hers at Spring Mingle. And it is gorgeous. She did it on this really great like green and pink mottled fabric. It's stunning. I love it. Okay. Last project is my temperature stitch by It's Local Conditions by Satsuma Street. This one I'm at 37%, 2,100 out of 6,000. I did 283 stitches this month. I was like 2.5 weeks behind. So I took it to Boston and I finished. This is April. And you can see we've gotten warmer in April quite a bit. And then this is May down here. So I'm still a couple of days behind. I didn't have, it got really warm. So I needed like into the like very orange colors, like 352 to fill in down here. And I didn't have those with me while I was stitching this in Boston. So I'll get caught up. I'm trying to do, now that I'm caught up, each little house part of the building each morning before work. Nice little like 10 minutes because most of them are like 10 stitches. This is, did I write on this? I did. I don't have my glasses. Nope, I just wrote 10 by 15. Did I write up here? 10 by 14. Well, that doesn't help. Anyway, this is pink and orange Ada that I hand dyed, that I thrifted, 16 or 18 count. I never remember. It doesn't matter. And it's all the DMC from the Satsuma Street stitch along, the temperature stitch along. All right. So that's my stitching this month. So that's stitching stuff. In terms of other stuff that's been going on, I went to Spring Mingle last weekend and had a blast. I did stitching rooms and a couple of the whip roulette. What do you call that? Anyway, had a lot of fun. Friday night, I was in the stitching rooms right at 4 p.m. because I thought it started at 1 p.m. my time and like had work and volunteering, and then finally sat down right at 4 and was like, why is no one here in these stitching rooms? It is so empty. It's because it started at 7 Eastern for my time. But had a great time Friday night. Hung out with Lisa from Linguistic Stitches. Hung out with Katherine from Accounting My Stitches quite a bit. She is lovely. She just celebrated 1 year on YouTube, so you should go watch her videos and congratulate her. Here's why I like Katherine. She's so great at building community. She knows so many folks. She's so friendly, and she's always posting like, hey, we're in this room, come join us. Or she'll message me and be like, hey, we're back in, what was it called? Fuchsia, something fuchsia. Anyway, terrific room. Got to meet Marissa from Imkissa Creations. I'm new to watching her channel, but I love it because I love Maine. And I really like her style. Saturday, I got to see Becca from Becca is Stitching. She's also doing a lot of cool projects right now. Jen from Little Paper Bear Co. Steph, Cross Stitch the Globe. Jandy, who's also going to be teaching a course at Midsummer Stitch. Very exciting for that. Very excited for that. So just like tons of fun Friday and Saturday. Lots of great folks in the stitching rooms that I know from Flosstube or know from Instagram. So just had a great time working on my projects. Sunday, I did not get to work on my projects that much in the stitching rooms because it was Syttende Mai, which is 17th of May, Norwegian Independence Day. Am I Norwegian? No, I am short with brown hair and pink hair. Definitely not Scandinavian. However, my neighborhood has very heavy Scandinavian influences. Like every apartment building is called Odin or like Valhalla or whatever. And that is because we're right on the water in Seattle. And during like the late 1800s, a lot of Scandinavian immigrants came over here and they just kept moving west and settled out here in Seattle. The National Nordic Museum is right here in my neighborhood. So welcome back to Laura's Geography channel. Thanks for joining. But Syttende Mai is it's like our Independence Day. It's when Norway got their independence from Sweden. And so in my neighborhood, they throw a huge parade, huge, like the Crown Prince from Norway like opened it one year. This year we had the former Norwegian Prime Minister as the Grand Marshal. Every single person in Seattle that wants to be in this parade can be in this parade. It's over 2 hours long. So my neighbors and I got a bunch of drinks. We headed down, we sat, we watched the parade. I held my neighbor's puppy. It was lovely. Yeah, it was great. It's like such a Seattle thing to do. Like every elementary school in the area is in it, every high school marching band, the clowns, there's like a troll, the Bambo trolls that are around Washington. They had made one of those. The Unicycle Club, which feels very Portland, but is a Seattle thing. All the elementary schools have a unicycle club. So in all the parades, these like little elementary schoolers unicycle around. It's adorable. It's great. So Sunday, I was day drinking, not in the stitching rooms. And then I flew to Boston for work and it was an oven. And now I'm back in Seattle and it is rainy. And that is why I have my ring light on because it's actually pretty gray. So that is what's been going on. In terms of plans, I'm really stressed about how many projects I have going, like big projects. Pink Wren, Blueberry J, Shaded Stitchery, Summer Quaker by Leela's Studio. Oh, I like Cross Stitch from JEDxStitch, which I have also barely worked on. So just a lot of like really big projects. So I don't want to start any big projects. I might start some smaller projects. Here's why. I'm going to Pinwis down at Acorns and Threads on Labor Day weekend. And so I need to do some table gifts. I mean, I don't need to, but I will. And 2-3 weeks ago, I went to this like recycle reclaim day that was held by a bunch of architecture and interior design firms. My friend's wife was like coordinating all the volunteers. And so they were giving away all of these samples. And so naturally, since I'm a hoarder, I grabbed them all. And it was stuff like these little acrylic lucite like tile samples. I grabbed a ton of those. They had them in larger, like 8.5 by 11 sizes. And this cool yellow one. Like, I don't know what I'm going to do with them yet, but I kind of thought it would be cool, like, to do a flat fold on this and like frame this as part of the backing. TBD. I don't know. I had grabbed a few things and Linda was like, you can take more. It's all free. And I was like, I don't need more. I'm a hoarder. And then I got a ton of these fabric samples. Most of them are polyester, but there were a bunch of these like velveteen samples, like some cool, like larger pillow style, more velveteen. Like, that's a great color. Look at that color. More velveteen, some like simulated leather, and then like more kind of velvety things. Plus, there were some like wool tweedy ones. This is just a portion of it. This is just a handful. But you know what these are great for? That is the size of a small. So I'm thinking for pinwhists, I will like salvage what I can and maybe like cut it off and put a little note that it's like recycled. But you could put a pillow, you could back a pillow with like any of these. And like, how great would that be? Right? Like if you had a, what is that? 6x8 pillow. So I don't know if that seems like a stupid idea. If you got some samples like this, or if I had these at Pinwhists and I was giving them away, would you get mad? Or would you be like, that's cool. What a great way to reuse textiles that would otherwise get thrown away. So what I'm thinking is for my little Aperol, how great would it be on this orange fabric if I backed it with this as like the back of my little bag tag? Like, I think that'd be great. So that's a plan. Figure out what to use these for. Start some smalls. Because there's a lot of like fall colors in there that I think would be pretty great for like the smalls exchange at Pinwhists. So I'll try that. June is the Strawberry Moon SAL month. It's a stitch along hosted by Marjorie Maid for the Strawberry Moon, which is the June moon. So every moon has a name. And in fact, coming up next weekend is the blue moon because it's the second full moon in a month. And the June full moon is called the Strawberry Moon. Now, it's at the end of June this year. The stitch along is just that you stitch something with strawberries in it in the month of June. It's pretty loose and lean. But if there's something that you wanted to stitch and it has strawberries, terrific. So I have some ideas of some free patterns or maybe some paid patterns that you might not think about for strawberries. A lot of folks stitch that strawberry pattern from Liz Matthews, the cute little strawberry moon house with the cat, but that's not generally available. That's what I would pick. That's not available. So I have some other ideas for you. Now, first of all, a sampler for Grace has strawberries. So if you're already stitching this, great news, you're already stitching a strawberry pattern. Terrific, terrific job. If you were at the Spring Mingle last weekend, Liz Matthews had a Carriage House Samplings PDF available. It's Strawberry Dream. It's the first time it's available as a PDF. This might be my start because I really like it. I bought it and I thought it was really cute. I don't know how big it is, but it didn't look that big. But Liz Matthews, I love her, huge fan. Her patterns are giant. So I'm hoping Carriage House Samplings are a little bit smaller. Another pattern that might be available in a similar vein is by Barrick Samplers. So Liz Matthews' mom is Kathy Barrick. Her aunt Marty used to run Carriage House Samplings, and now Liz Matthews bought Carriage House Samplings, and it's kind of under her portfolio, although it's a separate brand. And she's slowly releasing the PDFs. This is not a PDF, but it's Strawberry Fields by Barrick Samplers. Put a picture. This is available on Etsy from Steph at Cross Stitch the Globe from $14 as a PDF. I don't know if it's out of print elsewhere, but I love the strawberries in this and that little red house. Another design that Steph has that is a strawberry related pattern is in the Berry Beginning Stitchers mat by the Scarlet House. She has this pattern available. Stephanie's Etsy shop also has like 8 other berry patterns. She had this really cute Strawberries and Cream by Meridian Designs. It's like a little, it's probably well, it looks like a cupcake, but I would imagine it's strawberry shortcake regardless. It's really cute. It's finished on like a little board. So she has that pattern available for $8 in her Etsy store, as well as some other patterns as well. So those are some paid patterns that you might not have seen or might not come up just in a general search. In terms of free patterns, this is what I did last year. This is a strawberry pattern by Needlework Designs. It's totally free on their website. I'll put a link down below. I stitched this in DMC 150. It was not a ton of stitches. This was also my first time stitching on linen. This is just some like vintage Irish linen from my mom's stash. But that was a really easy stitch up. I love the look of it. It's usually hanging behind me. And that's totally free. And also, let's take a moment for my back, because normally my backs are a hot ass mess. And this, I did a nice job on that. Look at that stitching. Not a single messy thread. Nailed it. I also did some research on other strawberry patterns that are available for free in the Libby app. Now, I did some research, but I've also been taking note of any strawberry patterns in a note on my iPad. And so this one is from March of this year. It's in Cross Stitcher magazine, and it's Strawberry, Biscornu, Berries, and Bees. And I'll put a little picture here and the page number and info down below. This was just really cute. There's actually a lot of strawberry biscornus. So if you like a biscornu, I have 3 for you. 2 for you. I have several in my list. These are available for free on the Libby app. Most libraries have access to the Libby app. So they're free. You can screenshot the pattern to put it into your pattern maker, or you can just, stitch from your computer screen. The next is from the Summer 2026 Just Cross Stitch magazine. It's called Strawberry Patch by Elizabeth Spurlock of Saving Grace's Fine Needle Arts. I thought this was really cute with the strawberries and the flowers and those bright green leaves. This next one is from July 2025. It's by Cheryl McKinnon, who is Tiny Modernist. It's called Perfect Punnet Strawberry Pincushion. This, how cute is this? Like, it's like a little strawberry box, but it's like the little carton that you get when you go to pick strawberries. It's adorable. Basically full coverage, so 1 bajillion stitches, I'm sure. But that's from July 2025. Also available on the Libby app. Now, I have a couple others that are not available necessarily on the Libby app, but are available on Pressreader. So my library, Seattle Public Library, has, within the Libby app, you can get Just Cross Stitch and Cross Stitcher magazines for the last roughly 2 to 3 years. If you want to see back issues for the past 5 or 6 years, you can use Pressreader. My library has free access to Pressreader, which has magazines and newspapers from across the globe available. And it looks very similar to the Libby app. I have the links. Oh, these are SPL links. Well, I'll put the links down below for SPL. If you have Pressreader, I'm sure you could figure out the core link and just add on the parameters to get to the actual magazine and page. Or you can do a Google search. Some of these are also on Pinterest. If that is your vibe, you do you, whatever you do. This strawberry necklace from Doreen Jones is in Cross Stitcher June 2020. I used Pressreader to see this. Would I make this a necklace? No. Would I make this a little bag tag? Maybe. Now that I'm a bag tag professional, I've already lost it. I'm a bag tag professional. Maybe I would make a little bag tag out of the strawberry. TBD. I thought it was really cute. This strawberry scissors case by Emma Congdon is freaking adorable. It is from Cross Stitcher magazine, August 2019. It might be called Berry Clever or just Strawberry Scissor Case. A lot of red stitches, but real cute. And it would hold your scissors. Doreen Jones has another Strawberry Biscornu from July 1st, 2021, Cross Stitcher Magazine. Again, a ton of Biscornus. And then this Biscornu from Amanda Gregory is just on the interwebs. It came up when I searched Strawberry Cross Stitch. And so that one came up too. So that's a little sampling of some strawberry patterns that you could stitch for Strawberry Moon, free and a couple paid ones. If you are going to stitch one of those, or if you have another strawberry pattern that you like, let me know down below. In terms of stitching and stuff, that's done. In terms of what I've been watching or reading, talk a little bit about that. I have been watching Real Housewives of Rhode Island. It is terrific. I talked about that a little bit earlier. I'm not a Real Housewives girly. I've watched some of Salt Lake, but that's really it. Rhode Island just started. It's brand new, so you can get in at the ground floor. You didn't miss anything. These women, number one, all look alike. They're all brunette. Number two, all know each other from like high school, like all of them except for Ashley I. Number three, there's definitely some secrets happening. We don't know all of the secrets yet. I'm very intrigued. And number four, the accent. I'm not sure I knew that Rhode Islanders had an accent. It sounds a lot like Boston, which makes sense, but I'm not sure I knew that they had an accent. So I'm learning something. I've also been watching The Valley, more Bravo on Peacock. It is a dark. Danny is the worst. Danny seems like the kind of guy that would say he has to babysit his own kids. I hate that. I hate that for him. I hate that for Nia. I'm caught up on The Valley. So they just finished the pageant episode. Yeah, Danny's the worst. Luke might be the worst. Yeah. I might be Team Lala. I never thought I'd say that. Wow. Wow. Anyway, been watching The Valley. I'm also 100% caught up on Ladies of London. I want to be Martha Sitwell. I love her hair. I might try to do my hair like that for the next Flosstube because I'm literally obsessed. I love her so much. Do I need a pet magpie? Do not answer that question. No, I don't want a pet bird. That would be terrible. But loving Ladies of London. Also watching Taskmaster, of course. Lots of Flosstube. That's about it. I have been listening to an audiobook of, it's called Eleanor by Alice Loxton. Nonfiction about Eleanor of Aquitaine, who is a former Queen of England from the late 1200s. She was married to Edward I. It's really interesting. The TLDR is Edward built all of these monuments to Eleanor across England. And 700 years later, 800 years later, whatever. Alice is walking the 200 miles from where Eleanor passed away back to London and following the course of these monuments. So kind of history, a little bit of like, the trip, the journey. It's the journey, not the destination, etc. So I'm enjoying that audiobook while I'm stitching. I also finished the second Throne of Glass book. I'm waiting on the third one to come in at the library. Still liking it. Pretty solid romantasy. I don't know that it's groundbreaking, but it's good. So that's what I've been like reading and watching this past couple weeks. That's about all I have. Thanks for following along on the stitching and catching up on some spring mingle gossip and some strawberry patterns. Is there a strawberry emoji? Till next time, have a good one. Bye.